I just want to touch on for a second how personal conviction is quite an overused term. It's a valid term when used appropriately, but there are a lot of convictions that we should be getting from the Bible. People say that's, a personal conviction, that's not hate, it's not the obvious sins, it's not hate, it's not these things. But there's a lot of things in the Bible that God tells us not to do and tells us to do that we should be obedient to. And that includes things like vanity, that includes things like selfishness or complaining, anything that is outside of the will of God. And we should be calling one another higher. None of us are perfect, but we should be repenting every time that we fail and turning back to God and turning away from our sin. And sin is anything that is done outside of the will of God. It's not about being legalistic and coming down on everyone and being super harsh. And everyone is on a different stage in their walk. But we should see growth. We should be encouraging growth in one another. We should be sharpening one another and calling each other higher, because if you don't, people are going to go to hell. It's as simple as that. If you are not helping others to grow and you are allowing them to be stagnant, or you are flattering them, it's going to cause people to be sent to hell. It's that serious. And it's time that we start taking the Bible a bit more seriously and stop being concerned about our own fleshly desires and not having enough fun. It's not about having fun, it's about living in the Spirit, being obedient to God, feeling God's love. That should be enough joy. Living in the Spirit gives us all the joy that we need. We don't need additional joy that includes sinful behaviour, things that go outside of the will of God. Being a child of God doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be extreme. It can simply be doing the washing up while listening to worship music. It can be doing the everyday tasks whilst doing it for the glory of God. God tells us to work hard. God tells us to be a good servant, serving others. These are things we can do without putting too much pressure on ourselves, just doing everyday things whilst having that servant mindset, whilst having that loving mindset. It doesn't have to be extreme, but it does have to be done for the glory of God.